So it has been a while since we have heard updates on the Georgia election case against Trump and many others. We found out yesterday that the judge has tossed three of the counts in this Georgia election interference case against Donald Trump and others. So, tossing out three counts in the indictment. This includes two counts brought against former President Trump, saying that they actually lie beyond the state's jurisdiction. So out of reach of the state to even charge this, according to the judge. So this case has been going on. Trump and others who are appealing an order that actually allows Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to continue prosecuting the case. That's actually on hold while the appeal is pending. So it's just a whole debacle. The Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee issued the orders yesterday, and he based it on motions filed by Sean Still and John Eastman. Now, they are not part of the appeal, meaning that the case against them is not paused. So this case is just all over the place. Now, in this Georgia case, one of the four criminal prosecutions against the Republican presidential nominee, the grand jury in August of last year returned that 41 count indictment against 18 folks and also Donald Trump. So this indictment accused them of a wide-ranging conspiracy. So that's how she, got this RICO thing going. In this conspiracy, they are being accused of illegally trying to overturn Trump's loss in the 2020 presidential election in Georgia. So you remember that phone call. You remember all the different things that Donald Trump was doing to try to overturn this case. Now, four folks pleaded guilty last year. They reached some type of a deal with the prosecutors. But this case has been riddled with all type of controversy and confusion. So Donald Trump and the other defendants tried to get Fani Willis and her office removed from the case. So there was that whole thing about the romantic relationship that Fani Willis had with Nathan Wade. He was the special prosecutor that she added onto to actually lead the case. They say it created this conflict of interest. McAfee ruled that there was not a conflict of interest that warranted Fani Willis's disqualification, as long as the former head Nathan Wade left the case. So Nathan Wade leaves the case. Trump and his folks have appealed. The Georgia Court of Appeals is going to hear those arguments in December. So this thing is on hold, like many of the Trump cases. And you talk about on hold. The judge in March had thrown out 6 counts of the indictment, a ruling that the prosecutors are appealing. So it is a whole bunch of legal maneuvering back and forth. And even with a total of 9 counts thrown out, 32 counts remain. So don't y'all go out there thinking that it is over. There are still 32 counts remaining, including the overarching racketeering charge. That one right there is really serious. And that is brought against all of the defendants. So they're able to get some of these thrown out here, some thrown out there. At issue with yesterday's ruling are 2 counts having to do with the filing of a court document with the federal court in Atlanta. And this filing declared that Donald Trump had won the state of Georgia, and 16 Republicans who signed the document were duly elected and qualified electors of the state. right? That is what is actually at issue. Now, one of the counts charged in three of the against three of those Republicans, including Still, they're charging them with filing false documents. The other charge is Trump and others, including Eastman, with conspiracy to file false documents. So don't go thinking that it's all over with. He still has a lot of things pending. McAfee, who is a Republican, the judge, wrote that punishing someone for filing certain documents with a federal court would enable a state court to constrict the scope of materials assessed by a federal court and impair the administration of justice in that tribunal to police its own proceedings. He concluded that those two counts must be quashed as beyond the jurisdiction of this state. So he's saying that's federal stuff. State, you don't have any ability. You don't have any purview. You don't have any rights, according to him. Now, the third count charges Trump and Eastman with filing false documents, saying they knowingly and unlawfully filed a lawsuit with the federal court in Atlanta while having reason to know that the document included at least one materially false statement about the 2020 election. So Fani Willis, as often is the case, put a lot of charges on here. And these are charges that she believed that she could prove. I don't know why she didn't foresee this particularly, but they put a lot of charges on, knowing that some charges will get thrown out, but they still have the most devastating charges still within. A spokesperson for Fani Willis said that she is reviewing things in the order, and they did not comment. So we're going to continue to follow this. I don't know how this ends up, but a lot of things depend on what happens in the election. In a separate order yesterday, McAfee rejected Eastman and Still's attempt to dismiss the broad racketeering count on the indictment. That is the one that is definitely hanging over them, the devastating charge. The count is supported by 161 alleged acts that defendants are accused of engaging in to accomplish the goal of challenging Trump's electoral loss. So you remember earlier this year in July, the U.S. Supreme Court that has been completely compromised ruled that former presidents have absolute immunity from prosecution for official acts that fall within their exclusive sphere of constitutional authority. And they are presumptively entitled to immunity for all official acts. McAfee noted that his rulings do not take that into account because those issues have not yet been fully briefed or argued by the parties in the case before him. But you know that if he can use what the Supreme Court said, he will definitely do that. He doesn't have any problem doing that because, as I said, he's not. I don't know how partial he is per se. I don't know if he is going to call this down the middle. We've seen what happened in the case in Florida. And Donald Trump, I don't know how, but Donald Trump is the luckiest SOB that I have seen in quite some time. And so we have that. So Fani Willis, I mean, you know, some reports I'm seeing are calling this a loss. I don't know if this is a big loss for Fani Willis. She still has 32 charges on Donald Trump, 32. So, you know, have your fun with this if you want. But I think that she's going to continue to go forward. And if the Supreme Court, well, say this, if Donald Trump is reelected, this case is going to go away faster than vanilla ice cream in the August sun. All right. Now, if Kamala Harris is elected, that changes everything. That changes everything. So we're going to continue to watch this, follow this, see where it takes us. I'm very interested in what happens here. We've been following this, and many folks want Donald Trump, former President Trump, to be held to some type of account, some type of accountability. He seems to be able to avoid all accountability. So it's really, really disgusting. Of course, you listen to the Diamond K Show, of course, onfirebroadcasting.com. You can advertise your product, service, or event with us. Sponsorships can include on-air mentions, social media posts, and of course, digital commercials advertising your products and links. We're excited to learn about your brand. For more information on rates or other business info, visit onfirebroadcasting.com. Of course, your man Diamond K. I will be back here tomorrow. I am always dropping new videos. DJDiamondK@gmail.com. Of course, on all social media, I am at The Diamond K Show.